And we're live.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Sorry about yesterday. Had a little technical difficulties. It's going to happen. I'm in Alaska. Beaver's in New Jersey. Wirecast is, Wirecast. So it is what it is. But we are back here today. A couple decent days for the VIP. It was green 2 days ago, plus a unit. Top three plays have been doing pretty well. 2 or 3 the last couple days. Duke the other day let us down, and then last night Gonzaga, huge letdown spot for at least for me. It is what it is. I think that you just got to give a whole bunch of credit to Texas. I came on here a couple weeks ago and said that I had Texas as a national championship contender and a Final Four bet. So if you followed me on there, you're looking at a really nice closing value trophy right now because it was like 30 to 35 to 1, depending on where you got it. Now you're looking at anywhere to 15 to 20 to 1. So touche to Texas. They played fantastic, almost a flawless game last night. Not very many. I don't even want to see Gonzaga was kind of shell-shocked because they weren't. I just don't think that they were making shots, and the Texas defense was making things uncomfortable. And Drew Timmy's a liability on defense. So I said it out loud. That's my guy, kind of, but he's a liability. I do worry about it. We shall see. But let's get into these games today. We have a whole day of basketball. Unfortunately, I told some people that I was going to bet Furman this morning at +3. They are down 19, it looks like 18 with 5 minutes to go in the first half. So on that one, but it is what it is. We play volume over here. So let's get into this first game, Michigan, Arizona State. And you know what? Really quickly, thank you, AJ. If you guys ever see Gonzaga wearing those stupid dark blue / black jerseys that say Zags across the chest, just bet against them because I'm telling you right now, it's bad luck. As soon as I saw that last night, I knew it was over. Thank you for reminding me that, AJ, so very much. Anyway, Michigan, Arizona State, two teams that yesterday kind of surprised some people, I think. First of all, we can start off with Michigan. Huge win last night. Wasn't even close. Both Sean and I were both on them. It kind of got a little bit of a dicey about midway through the first half or so. Pittsburgh was, trying to keep this game pretty damn close. Second half, though, was all big blue. Ended up coming with a 31-point victory over Pittsburgh, 90-60. So a really solid outing from Michigan. And then Arizona State, on the other hand, opened as a pretty close to a -1, essentially like a pick 'em, give or take kind of. Maybe VCU might have been favored by 1 or 2, but VCU took money and more money. I think VCU got up to 4.5 at some books, and they lost outright. ASU came in there without Bagley, one of their best players. He is their best player, and beat VCU 63-59, which sets up this matchup here today. It is in the Barclays Center, so I wouldn't mind an underlook. If you are playing totals, I don't really have a huge lean on it at 141 because I do think if Michigan can play like they played last night, they might put up another 90. So I'm all over Michigan here today. Michigan -7.5 for me. I just think that they're too good right now. Hunter Dickinson, I don't know who's going to guard him for Arizona State. That's another one that's going to issue me. Jet Howard and Kobe Buffkin are another couple guys for Michigan that have really played well for them. But Arizona State is one of those teams that I just don't feel like what we saw last night is really who they are. They might have played a little bit over their head. Maybe VCU looked over him. But like I said, without Marcus Bagley in there, I think that Hunter Dickinson goes to town today. And I think it's probably an easy double-digit victory for the Michigan Wolverines again here today. Next game up, we got Colorado State and South Carolina. And this one is actually kind of interesting to me. we can start with Colorado State. They're 3-0 on the year, so you got to give them a little bit of credit to that. But nothing. They played Gardner-Webb and Southeast Louisiana State. Both victories. The one against Gardner-Webb, they almost lost. It took some heroics. I think it was like a 2 or 3 point game. Looked much better against Southeast Louisiana. Some people want to say that those teams maybe are underrated. I'm not sure. I still think that it's a little bit of a step up in class for Colorado State when you face a team like South Carolina. There was a lot of confidence early preseason with this South Carolina team. And now here they are. They played pretty damn well their last time out. Look, for me, I think that South Carolina is the side here today, especially not having to lay points. So I did South Carolina money line at -1. Or I'm sorry, South Carolina plus the 1 now. It has Colorado State's taken a little bit of money, but for me, it's for as much as Colorado State good offensively, I get that. They don't get rebounds very well at all. They're one of the worst teams in college basketball as far as getting offensive rebounds. South Carolina prevents that very well. South Carolina is definitely going to hang their head defensively. Obviously, offensively, not fantastic. But one thing South Carolina does do well is shoot the 3-ball well. Again, it's not. It's in the TD Arena, not the TD Garden. So we're not in Boston. We're in South Carolina, completely different situation. So I feel like South Carolina should be able to shoot sooner or later. It might be a little bit slow, but I think their defense can keep them in up through then. So I'm going to take South Carolina plus the 1 as a small dog. I just think they're a little bit better a team. I think they're about 20 spots better than Colorado State and Ken Palm. Not that that means a whole bunch, but just to give you guys a little bit of perspective on that. Next game up, Towson and UNCG. Probably one of my favorite games to watch today. I understand that these two teams aren't well known, but Towson is legit, guys. 3 wins in a row already. Again, Albany, UMass, and Penn aren't obviously the hardest teams to beat, but they beat them pretty convincingly as well. And now they face this UNCG team, who I will admit is a lot better than the first 3 teams that they've seen. But at the same time, I think Townsend's a wagon. I really do. UNCG played a non-Division I team in Johnson and Wales out of North Carolina to start, which was a 30-point victory. Then they played Miami, who obviously is probably much better than Towson. But they lost by 30 points in that game almost. So I'm not at a point where I can just say, oh, well, Miami's that great that UNCG should be losing by 30. Like I said, with Towson, gotta love guys like Cam Holden, Nicholas Timberlake, all those types of guys. Charles Thompson's another 6'7" guy that can score. I'm really, really bullish on this Towson team. I think Coach Pat Scarry knows what he's doing. They looked really good last year. They kind of floundered down the stretch in the tournament. They ended up losing to Delaware. And then in the postseason, they ended up losing to Wake. But I think Towson is much better this year, and I think it starts here tonight. So I'm going to lay it with Towson minus -1.5 and be pretty happy about it, that I'm getting it under 2. Next game up is Pitt versus VCU. And I wish I would have talked to my buddy Tristan on this one because he's a big Pitt guy. But man, VCU, like I just talked about, didn't look good their last game. Excuse me, against Arizona State. But at the same time, Pitt didn't look very good at all against Michigan, like I said. What bothers me about this game and what makes this game a little bit harder to handicap is what we saw from Pitt in the first half against Michigan. Obviously, Michigan is much better than VCU. I get that. But Pitt, on the other hand, isn't one of these teams that I really love to lay points with. Obviously, here they're getting points. It's really hard for me. I'm going to play the under at 130, at 130 and a half. Neither one of these teams really strikes me as a team that's going to try to get up and down and score. We saw yesterday with Pitt how they were able to try to limit some of the possessions. There was only 67 possessions in that Michigan game. I think we see something very similar to that. I just don't see either one of these teams scoring, 20 more points than the other one. I truly believe we get like a 115, 110 type of game either way. So under 130.5 for me on this one. I wouldn't play it too huge just because both these teams did play in this building yesterday, but they also did play yesterday. So you might have a little bit of tired legs. Again, it's early in the season, so I don't put a ton of stock into that. But with the two offenses here, neutral site game or 2 games in a row, under 130.5 for me. That is pretty much it for today as far as this show goes. So VIP, I already have about 3 or 4 plays listed over there. I'm also going to have another one as well. I will see you guys tomorrow. Another big game. I'm going to check the games tomorrow to see if we've got anything big. Nothing huge. So we'll see what happens. Illinois and UCLA looks to be like the best game tomorrow. So same time, same place. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Alrighty, and we're out.
Dude, you fucked it.